Hey guys, it's Mike, another King Arthur Legends Rise video. Today I actually wanted to go through and talk about some of the upgrades I've made on my account because I've used a lot of resources upgrading teams. This really has stemmed from trying to make progress in the Hall of Conquerors. I was really trying to get in the top 50 and currently I'm ranked at 41. I do think that in the next day and a half or whatever I got left, I will be able to get to Talos with 30 defeats. And that will get me into the rewards. I always click on that because it's the trophies, but it's in here is a treasure chest of rewards. So when we get to level 30, we get these added to rudiment memory stones. So that would be, or I guess they're chests. I keep calling them stones. Memory rudiment selector chest. Selection chest for those that read. But anyway, these are, as the faster you can stack these up on your account, it's just a great way to get additional chivalries on specific champions that you want. So that is a huge win, just getting those extra 2 if I can get there, and I have been super close. I think I'm probably RNG away from getting it done. But there potentially could be a better team to put together. I have heard suggestions about moving some people around. Unfortunately, like if I take Brendan here and I put him onto this team, it will negate my 40 defeats here. So because this was kind of RNG heavy and getting to 40, I don't want to kind of move people around this late in the game, but early on it's you have a lot more time to make up for it. So I've seen folks mention moving Brendan over here. I've also seen a couple suggestions as far as things that I could do in Talos, so that I might continue to horse around with as long as it's not using any of these 8 champions, because then it would reset the progress I've made in those particular battles. So don't want to do that this late in the game, so we're going to just kind of horse around with what I got left, try to upgrade Rosier where I can, try to upgrade Bedivere where I can to get a little more damage is all I need, maybe even try to get a little more damage out of Lancelot. Or potentially maybe even swapping out and moving away from dot damage and seeing if there's some other composition of teams I can put together that makes sense. But currently I'm sitting here ranked at 41, which I'm super happy with. That will get me in the qualifier for a single copy of the Frost Relic for Arthur. My guess is the longer and longer this goes on, the harder and harder it's going to be in the top 50. So chances are 10 weeks in a row I have to be here. I don't know that I'll be able to make it. Theoretically, my account will get stronger and stronger, but so will all the competition as well. So it's going to be kind of tough to kind of move through there. If you can get into the top 10, you start getting 2 of those, or in the top 3, you get 3, and then obviously if you're first, you get 5. Which is pretty cool. You do that 2 weeks in a row and now all of a sudden you've got a Frost Relic for Arthur. Don't even honestly know if the Frost Relic is super good for him or not. I mean, his Flame Relic is amazing. He's a great champion, so hopefully you got the chance to get him during this raid up event. Another byproduct of starting to work on some of these champions is I was able to go through Padar Sanctuary and get through stage 10. My team is not fast by any stretch of the imagination. What I'm running with here is I've got Flame Morgan. I tried it with Storm Morgan to put the defense down across the board on all of the sirens, but unfortunately they took too many turns and they ended up killing my Iwarit. So by using Flame Morgan, even though it doesn't put defense down on all of them, it did slow them down enough that the heals from Nika came in to keep my entire team alive. That allowed me to beat it on stage 10. Now, to speed this run up, if I could get Storm Morgan going and be able to maintain my life, that would be quicker because Storm Morgan does put defense down on all of the sirens, not just one at a time, which would be a big win. And I don't know, but I believe also if I had Flame Anya, that would also be a benefit for me. But I don't have that relic, so I'm not entirely sure if it would serve the same function and purpose, but I think it operates very similar to the Storm Relic, but it would be positive affinity, which would be helpful. But taking a quick peek at my champions, what I've really been working on Morgan, we got basically taking all of my chivalry levels and maxing out the level that I can get. So Morgan's on chivalry level 7, she's on 67. Anya's on chivalry level 7, she's on level 67. Iwarit's on 65 and she's on chivalry level 5, and so forth, all the way down the line as far as the people I'm using. I did finally get Rosier to level 70. It took a lot of gold to do that, but I've been trying to push her along for that Talos team. But the Hall of Conquerors has really pushed me to develop a lot of characters. I've been sitting on some materials for a while. Unfortunately, if we come up with a new event where we have to max out a character, I might be a little bit behind the 8 ball, but it was really fun to start working through some of these upgrades. So for example, on the Flame Relic, we got that 6-star 60 fully leveled up. On the Frost Relic for Morgan, we were at fully leveled up on those active skills, and then we are 52 out of 60, still have an Awakening level to go there. Here we're at 58 out of 60, have 2 Awakening levels, and we're starting to get those leveled up. In fact, we have some skills that we can use, but you can see my tomes, I think I was over 200 at one point. So they've been coming down pretty quickly. But it has been something where I've noticed a substantial change in my account since I've actually been utilizing these resources instead of stockpiling them, which honestly has been pretty fun. On Anya's Relic, we got it completely leveled up with the active skills, and we're on 6-star 60. We do have a star for Awakening to go there. Do need to spend some extra time in Storm of... or Shrine of Storms with Tarask the Storm Cat. That'd make a big win. But I probably made the most dramatic change to my Iwrit. I have taken her skills almost completely maxed out. I got one more left to do on the Flame Relic. Utilizing that one, it seems to be the one that has positive affinity for most of the places I'm using her, but I do know that some of her other relics do have a lot of merit as well, but I have not actually put any work into either of those, just utilizing that Flame Relic for the time being. But we do again have one star of Awakening to get there. But that she has moved from way off the list all the way to my 3rd best player, and with that recent pull, taking her up to Chivalry level 5 has been a pretty big win. Nika, I have been working on her Frost Relic, got it to 6-star 60. Obviously I have some Awakenings to do, and I haven't done anything in her active skills with the Frost Relic yet, but I am trying to push that on. On her Flame Relic, it's actually been sitting behind a while as well. Specifically on this guy, it'd be good to get max HP recovery, plus we got 5% sitting here, and number of turns for attack speed increase would go up by 1. These would be some pretty big wins for my Nika, and then moving into here and getting these guys maxed out as well would be a huge win. So those are some of the things I'm working on. I don't know that what I'm doing is necessarily the best, because if you think about it, I've basically maxed out 3 relics for Morgan. Now she is almost on every single team that I run basically. So I can choose a positive affinity, and each of these do have their own perks and merits. But with the same resources, I could have maxed out somebody else's Frost Relic and somebody else's Storm Relic, and then I'd have a maxed out Morgan with Flame and then them with Frost and Storm. So I could probably have a much deeper bench than I have currently, but I do feel like some of these characters that I've been working on, it opens up some other places that they could be useful. The other thing I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get all of my legendary characters to 6-star 60 and fully awakened. So that is kind of on the back burner. But I have moved Merlin up to 5-star Awaken and Vivian, so they're kind of moving along. I did press along with Turin's Awaken. I should be able to get her to 6-star Awaken. She's actually completely maxed out with her Storm Relic there, as well as her passive skills, so that's going to be a pretty big win. And I'm using her for AoE heals on Steel Flank Penbid, and I think as 3 bosses come in there, you really want to have 3 healers that are doing really good work for you. I chose to go with Vivian just because she has the AoE heal and the removal of debuffs, as well as converting dots into heal over time. So I feel like depending on the mechanics of the bosses moving forward, that might come to be a pretty big factor for a healer. So between Turin, Vivian, as well as Nika, that kind of takes care of my heals. I am keeping a close eye over on Gillian as a 4th alternative to healing, or a supplemental healer that can come in with one of my weaker healers depending on the boss mechanics and what's going on. But I got a lot of work left to do there, although I did pick up all 3 of her relics. I think her Frost Relic is her best, but I have to double check that. So that is something I've been kind of working on the back burner as well. But 6-star 60, we're working on the awakenedness on these characters here. But as far as legendary characters that are not 6-star, I think I'm sitting on Ceres and Florentius. So those are the only 2 that still need to be advanced, and I am 9 away from being able to do both. So I'm actually going to take up Ceres right now. We're going to advance her, and then we're gonna be 9 away from being able to take Florentius, and that will be every legendary in the game 6-star, and then I just need to get them all the way leveled up as far as I can. So from there, I'll start moving through the rares that I actually use, making sure they are 6-star and level 70, and get them kind of dialed in as well. But right now, my goal is to basically play catch up. I got 4 levels to move Merlin up. I've got 3 levels to move Sergius up, and to get them kind of maxed out. That way, as I pull chivalries, putting that gold towards them won't feel as cumbersome because it's just 1 level at a time versus trying to level them up 10 at a time. I got 2 over here for Gawain, 1 for Gillian there, a couple for Charlotte, and that's Guinevere. A couple for Charlotte as well, and Guinevere. But then I can start working through the rares and getting them going for the rares that I am actually using. And then with Rosier, she's already there, so then I can start moving through Cormac and then Turin and Kay and Anguish and some of the other characters that I do actually use in various stages of the dungeons. It has been increasingly difficult not to utilize these memory stones for a couple. Like, I'm sitting here on Chivalry level 8 potentially for Morgan, Chivalry level 8 here for Anya. Both of those are very strong chivalries. I do have, if I get to Chivalry level 8 for Ira, that's a huge chivalry as well. Even Brennan, I think his first 4 chivalries all do amazing work for him. Arthur, all the way through his 5th chivalry, are really strong for him. Then he starts doing stats. I actually kind of like the way they set this up a little better, where those first 5 chivalries open up his entire kit, and then the remaining chivalries just give him more stats that are going to make him more tanky, more durable, more damage. Because the benefit here is if you get him to Chivalry level 5, at that point, if you have good enough gear, these guys here are a lot less relevant. I mean, there's obviously a lot of good stats in there, but it's not going to change the way he functions as a champion. It's just going to change how much damage he's doing and how survivable he is. But comparing that to, say, Merlin's kit, where he's getting different stats along the way, but when he gets all the way to Chivalry level 8, he actually gets a new effect that changes his kit a little bit, and it might change the way that he functions as a champion on your account. And so, but getting 8 copies of a champion is kind of a lot to be able to really unlock them. I think that the way they did Arthur was kind of nice. It's more player friendly, where it's like the first 5 are going to be the most crucial, and then the extra ones are definitely going to be more end game, where you're trying to really stack his stats and get the most out of them. Another thing that I found is in these battles now, they added this detail settings. When you click on this, it's going to start you right here with these the normal settings that we've been accustomed to. But now if you click on the detail, you can actually change it. So instead of using, like, let's say I occasionally want to splash in Bedivere's A3, I could actually switch that out so that he'd run his A2, his A2, his A3, his A2, his A2, his A2, his A2, his A3, and every so often. So that is kind of an interesting thing where you can adjust how they go about their kit. Which I think is a big win, because when most people are running this game on auto, and most of the time you're using 1 skill. And this came into effect actually a little bit when I was looking at my Steel Flank Pivmid team, because once Steel Flank Pivmid lands the debuff for heal disruption, bringing in extra defense is one great way to keep him alive. So if you start splashing in Turin's A2 into her abilities, she's doing her heals along the way, but every now and then she's going to put that added defense up. It's just going to help you stay alive a little bit longer. In fact, probably starting out, you'd probably start with this, then go to here, and then come back like that, because the first turn you probably haven't taken damage enough to really warrant a heal anyway, so she can go ahead and put that defense up right away. And as far as I understand, it just goes through these 5 and then starts over and continues to go through those 5. That's what this use fixed skill order, and it just kind of goes through that process. So I do feel like this is a really cool addition to the game that kind of helps us in different areas where you might utilize more than one of your champion skill sets. That did come into play when I took down Padarj on stage 10, because I did want Anya to run her ability for Counter-Strike. So I did splash in her A2 with some A3s, where I'm leaning on Iwarit to do all of the A3s. Now Iwarit, he's a single target main damage is on her A2, but AoE damage on her A3. So depending on the boss or who you're fighting, that could be something where you can go back and forth there to help you out as well. But I do think this is a really cool way to kind of give you a little more control over your characters, utilize a little more of their kit on auto, which is, again, very user-friendly. We are about to wrap up the Forbidden Dungeon, so if you have anything left to do in there, this is Season 7. We got just a couple hours left. By the time this video launches, it might actually already be over. I did get stuck on level 15. I finally got through level 11, but these guys hit super hard. And I have not been able to get through it. I will try again tomorrow after the reset. I've been trying different things with Lot. He has the brainwash ability. I was trying to get them to hit each other, but I don't have his effect accuracy up, and he's not built at all. So that's just something that I was kind of horsing around with. But having to use 3 heroes with Storm Relics has been pretty challenging. But I have been working on Morgan's Storm Relics, so that could be a good fit. And then also bringing Lot out and bringing Anya back in could be a good way to go. But there's just a couple things that are just trying to figure it all out as far as making it work. But if we jump into my item bag and take a peek, we'll go ahead and pull these things. We're sitting here breathing. Let's see if we get anything lucky. We did get Arthur's Frost Relic. So that was one of the 3 we needed left. We still have 3 to go. We're up to 59 rate-up summons. That was through some purchases and so forth. Some stuff made it into my inbox that didn't make it out in the last video. I forgot to mention, I'm keeping a running tally of how much money I spent in the game. I believe I was at $128 prior to that video, and then with $27 on that video, we're at $155. So just trying to be honest with you guys and be transparent about how much money I spent on the game so you know where I'm at. It also keeps me honest as well. But in here, this is where I've really depleted some resources. So if we take a peek down here, you can see on the statues, I have hardly any statues. I did stack up some serpent statues there. I'm doing okay in that space. Here, I'm on the talisman, serpent talisman. I'm dying. I've actually been running that battle exclusively for the last probably 4 or 5 days, and I have not gotten a single legendary serpent talisman, which has been very frustrating. The nice thing is I'm stacking up all these guys, so I'm in a good place everywhere else except for Stags. I think I was utilizing these for Arthur, getting his kit up, trying to get as much damage out of him as I could. But you can see I've got the rare ones going on here. This is all looking pretty healthy, but right here we are needing a little bit of love. So if we got to a point where we need to max out a character, I'm going to be relying solely on these guys right up here. Where are they at? Somewhere up here. These guys. And then I can use these to supplement where I need to. But to max out a character, you need a lot, and I only have 50 of these. So unfortunately, that's not going to be enough for me to max out a character, but it will be something that can help me out. But hopefully in the 14 days that we're running in that potential event, I will be able to stack up whatever I need to start to get a little bit ahead of the curve there, but we'll find out. I'm trying to keep enough pedestals in there so it's ready to go. I'm trying to keep enough of these statues, but like I said, I've been upgrading a lot of characters and made a lot of progress on the account, so unfortunately that comes at a cost. On the stones too, I have a lot of work to do, and like I said, I need to spend some time in Shrine of Storms, and then on the legendary tomes, and even the rare tomes are starting to get kind of dwindled down a little bit. Just because you use several of these on your way up to the legendary upgrades and trying to get Morgan's Storm Relic up as well as her Frost Relic, and then the Flame has been really where I've spent a lot of my time. Yeah, with Iris Flame Relic, we had Caliburn Arthur's Flame Relic. I had a couple things in the Flame Relic for Nika I was working on. I did utilize trying to get Vivian a little more powerful with her relic as well, just for that Talos team I was putting together, so I burned through a couple there. So I've been kind of utilizing quite a few of my resources to push my account along. But I gotta say, honestly, with all of those resources I've been stacking up, it really has been very enjoyable playing the game the last few days, just upgrading champions, because I felt like I had things I could do. I was stacking up stamina and things of that nature, so when I needed gold, I could go get some from Gorgos and then keep pressing on, trying to do better. But a lot of my energy and focus at this point in time has been in the Hall of Conquerors. I did finish up all the events as far as getting the rewards. I did not spend very much time in the event dungeon. Unfortunately, there's some good rewards in here, but I didn't farm it very much. It took me a long time to get to level 10 where I could farm it, and then I couldn't really build a team where I was getting those extra points, so I wasn't really accruing a lot of points farming that high. I was going to step down and start farming at a lower level, but you know, I just didn't get around to it. So we're running out of time on here. We got 8 days for the shop. Yeah, the event's only going on for another day, so I don't think I'm going to have enough time or stamina to go through here and do a whole lot. I will say, with the new wish list setup, these special summons I think have gotten significantly more valuable. And so picking those guys up to be able to go in there and pick basically specific chivalries you're working on has definitely increased the value of those special summons, because now when I do pull a legendary, I'm guaranteed to get one of these 4 legendaries. So I'm not getting anything extra or anything I don't want. It really kind of fine tunes it to exactly what I'm looking for, which I think is a really big win for some of those champions that have been in the game a little while that you might not have picked up at the rate up, or you're just looking to get chivalries on. As soon as like Caliburn Arthur makes it in here, he'll probably be on this team. Hopefully by then Anya's off, because once she gets chivalry level 8, she's off. Morgan will be off at chivalry level 8. Ira will be off at chivalry level 8. Sarah's doesn't have a single chivalry yet, but she will go away at chivalry level 8, and then I can just sit on those champions and start pulling other champions. But I do think this was a huge win for the game. I also think that the way they redid what's going on inside the shard shop is a huge win for the game. You've got Morgan in here, you got Bedivere, Vivian. I mean, just great champions. They all come through here. You can also buy rate up tickets. I kind of go back and forth. I'm at 59, so I kind of feel like I should buy one just to get to 60. Why not? We're going to buy it. But you can buy this, I think, every day. If you spend 150 of these every day, you're probably going to run out, just in case you're trying to stack. But for a lot of in-game players that have these guys maxed out, it gives them something to purchase every single day. Come in here, get a Mastery Memory Stone. Come in here and get a Rate Up Summons. And that's going to start to work through some of that stockpile that they probably have as in-game players, and be pretty good. You can see in here, Morgan's Storm Relic is money. If you don't have it, it's worth saving up to get. But the quality of what's going on in here is just at another level. You got Frost Relic Summons you can pick up. So I think they really did a great job with that update, making this work for us. Just a lot of like really quality of life player updates that really make me feel like they're taking care of us, scratching our back. And more importantly, it makes me feel like they have a plan long term for this game, and they're not just trying to get as much cash out of it at the very end as they can, which is really weird to say because it's such a new game. So I mean, I feel like it has a lot of merit, good bones. Like, I think this game could withstand the test of time if they continue to run updates similar to what we got with Caliburn Arthur. I mean, updates that big once every other month would be pretty good, and then it would be a matter of just keeping champions coming in the game, probably at a faster pace than one every 2 weeks. I feel like they need to start dropping 2 or 3 champions when they do this every 3 weeks or every 2 weeks. But, you know, as long as they keep adding to it, the game is growing, and I won't complain. I'll be happy. I still have plenty to do in the game, and I am still spending money. $155 now. I'm almost a minnow. But seeing how we're sitting here breathing, let's go ahead and do some summons. We got 10 normal summons to get a little warmed up here. Hopefully get a rare that can add to some chivalries there. I'm trying to stack up token. Hey, we did get a rare. Trying to stack up tokens as well for the shard shop, because there's a lot of goodies in there now that I'm just waiting. Like Anya's Flame Relic comes through there. I'm going to be pretty upset if I don't have enough to get it. So we'll get those stacked up. And then these are all tokens. We've got Gareth already on Chivalry level 10. So that's pretty good. On the special summons, we got Pity at 48. We're going to pull 30. So we're going to get closer to it, but we won't quite get there. Again, it might make sense to wait until the reset, because Brendan might be entering the summon pool, and his chivalries are pretty strong. But I am impatient, and I love summoning characters. So we're going to go ahead and summon them and just hope for the best here. And we did not get a legendary this time. Hopefully a couple rares. There you go. Look at that. 5 rares. Nice. That's going to help us stack up tokens pretty good. There's an Anguish there, so that's going to help us with some chivalry, and then everybody else is maxed out, so that's just all tokens. Tokens for the shop. and I'm happy to get them because there's plenty in there I wish I could buy right now if I could. So we're going to hopefully get a couple more rares. Two rares. That's better than one. Isolde, that's for her. I'm only on Chivalry level 7, so that's a good pull. I think that does get me to 8 because I think that is my second copy for her for that Chivalry. So that'll be pretty good. Ralph is the other one. I think he's still on Chivalry level 6, which is pretty rough. Oh, no legendaries today. All right, that's okay. We got one rare. They're just setting us up for success next time. So we'll see who that rare is. We got another Anguish, so that'll get us definitely to Chivalry level 8 and probably halfway to 9. So making some progress there as well. To be honest, these 60 rate up summons might make sense to pull Caliburn Arthur and go for his Chivalry level 3, as well as get these extra goodies along the way. But I will say sometimes when they launch new characters, and in the rate up pool, then they have an event where you need to use that character on your team. So even though the event might be going for 14 days, if I actually pulled these and I needed to pull the new character to use them in the event, I'd have to just stack up 60 of those pretty quickly. And I'm not that big of a spender, so it probably wouldn't happen for me very quickly. So as much as I would love a Chivalry 3 Caliburn Arthur here, I'm going to go ahead and sit tight on those 60 and wait for Tuesday's reset and see if we're getting a new champion in the game. But I think that's about what I got for you today. I have been having so much fun in the game the last few days since I got back from the seminar. I got to stack up a lot of things on the account, and then I got to actually deploy them and put them to work, and seeing the progress has been really fun. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me all the way to the end. If you haven't liked and subscribed to the channel, please do so. It means the world to me. And if you are looking for a clan, MikeGoG, we're still looking for 25 players, so come join us. We'd love to have you. Outside of that, I look forward to seeing you next time.